G'day everyone, Connor here from CW's Tech Reviews, back with another video. And today we're having a look at the Moto X4. This is my unboxing of the Moto X4, bit of a first impressions video as well. Picked this up today. This is the 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage variant. So I guess we're looking at the Asian variant because I am in Australia. But without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Really sort of tossing up whether to get this device, and now that I've got it, I'm pumped, I'm excited. Now this is a dual SIM Moto X4, not the Android one, obviously. Don't have that here in Australia, you can only get that in the US. So and the US variant is 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage. Here we go. Alright, so here is the device itself. I'll just quick look at that. We'll put that aside for now. I'll get rid of this now. I don't need that. Looks like here we've got our Redmi, usual books and stuff, SIM ejection tool. So we'll use that later for sure. Here we've got our USB Type-C charging and data transfers, which is great, and a 15 watt, I believe, 15 watt charging brick, which is nice. We're going to get, I think it's 6 hours of charge in about 15 minutes or half an hour or something like that, but I will find out exactly. And a nice little pair of headphones, because we've actually got a headphone jack, you little ripper. Can you see that? I'm stoked. Headphone jack. Who would have thought we'd have a headphone jack? Actually, let me open that up. Let's have a look at these. Always fiddly. So pretty basic looking headphones. They've got a little bit of a controller on them. Hey, they included it. I'm happy. Alright, over to the device. So we've got a dual camera on the back, 12 megapixel. And an 8 megapixel. We've got a microphone on the back, a microphone on the top. Can you see that? A microphone on the bottom. I've heard that you get some pretty good sound out of this, so we'll check that out. IP68 water resistance, 16 megapixel selfie camera, pretty cool. Snapdragon processor to 630 with a 508. Adreno 508 for the GPU, 3D glass build and Moto experiences. So we'll just power this on and I'll peel this off. I am stoked. So you've got a glass back, which I think looks really nice.
Hello, Moto.
Now just have a look at that. I think that looks really, really nice. Nice glass back, nice front. Got your fingerprint sensor on the front, so we're just going to go, let's go. I'm going to set up as fresh, and off we go. And you just do that until it says that you're done, and then you can add another one. I always like to add a couple. Alright, so my Moto X4 is now set up. I've still got to download some applications in the background and sign into a few of my accounts, but everything's been set up fairly well. I'm pretty happy with everything so far. Obviously it's got that new device feeling where everything is snappy and everything scrolls really quickly. So I'll get over this little honeymoon period and we'll see what all the fuss is about. In a couple of days I'll do my first impressions video, but my very, very, very first impressions are that it's a really nice looking device. So the camera, we'll set this up, allow, I'll just take a couple of quick photos, bang. And Looks pretty clear. Obviously I'm in bright light, but everything's where it needs to be. I'm going to go fully test this and see how it turns out, but I mean, look at that. Everything's looking pretty good to me. Hit me up if you've got any questions about the Moto X4 2017. I'm really stoked to have picked it up. I think it's one of those, let's have a look, bit of a 16 megapixel selfie cam. That's looking okay. Pretty happy with everything I see there. I just mentioned too, everyone, so we've got a 5.2 inch display, 74.5% screen to body ratio, which I'm pretty happy with. I mean, look, it's not bezel-less, but do we need everything to be bezel-less? I don't think so. I'm happy with what we've got here. Running Android 7.1.1, I believe, so we'll just go and check that out quickly. Yep, Android 7.1.1, August security patch level, so hopefully they keep these up to date. We are talking about, this in the US, this is an Android 1 phone, so they should be updating it fairly consistently, and I'm hoping that this device will also get those updates. It's not Android 1, but it is a Moto X4, so I'm hoping that it will get the updates. Gorilla Glass on the front and back, 1080 by 1920, 424 for the PPI patrol. You've got your Qualcomm Snapdragon 630, which I did mention, which is an octa-core. This is the 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage model, so I'm happy with that. A little bit of extra power there, a little bit of extra engine power, you might want to say. There's your Motorola dimple. I'm really liking this glass back. It is giving it a premium feel to it. And I really mean that. It really feels nice and premium. So kudos to Motorola for that. So on the back we do have a 12 megapixel camera and an 8 megapixel. The 12 megapixel is 2.0 aperture and the 8 is 2.2 aperture. It's got geotagging, face detection, panorama, auto HDR. Can film at 4K at 30 frames per second and 1080p at 30 frames and 60 frames per second. So it's a mid-ranger, but it's going to stack up to the rest of them. So in Australia this is $650, and the Note 8 in Australia is $1,500. So that just gives you an indication of the price difference. Definitely a mid-ranger. 3000 milliamp hour battery. So I'm going to test all this. I'm a bit of a runner too. I like doing my exercise, so I'll be testing out the GPS on it and seeing how we go there. Yeah, so let me know any comments or questions down below. More than happy to answer them. I'm going to be doing quite a few videos on this. Obviously, just got it tonight, so whatever I do find out, I'll make sure I put in the first impressions video and my full review. Always been a fan of Motorola. Always been a fan of Android. I'll see how fast the updates come through and all that, so we'll see how we go. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. I'll catch you in the next one. Check you later.